Trump is talking about sending American citizens to the Supermax prison in El Salvador. Not terrorists or anybody accused of terrorism, U.S. citizens, people born here, with families born here, going back generations. Trump says, I call them homegrown criminals that grew up and something went wrong and they hit people over the head with a baseball bat and push people into subways just before the train gets there. We are looking into it and we want to do it. I would love to do that. Well, the first problem with sending U.S. citizens to prisons abroad is that it violates the Constitution. Now, he may not care much about that, but others do. In a 1936 case called Valentine versus the United States, the Supreme Court made it clear there are only two ways to extradite a citizen, meaning send them out of the country into the jurisdiction of some other country and their control. You do it either by a treaty ratified by Congress or by a law passed by Congress, and there are neither of those in this case. And who is it that's going to get sent away? Will it be the worst of the worst? Well, an analysis by 60 Minutes of the first group of men sent to El Salvador showed that 3% of them had a history, a criminal history that was unclear. Maybe they had something, maybe they didn't. 75% of the men sent to El Salvador had no criminal record, and 22% of the men on that list had criminal records either here in the United States or abroad, but the vast majority of those were for nonviolent offenses like theft, shoplifting, trespass. There were some serious offenses among those people, but only about a dozen people were accused of murder, rape, or assault, or kidnapping. When I look at the population of imprisoned people, I see black people in prison. We make up 14% of the population and 41% of the incarcerated population. I see housing and education policy that has placed roadblocks to success for this community and policing and punishment regimes that have targeted this community and other communities of color. I guarantee you this, if they're going to be sending planes to El Salvador carrying U.S. citizens to be imprisoned, the passengers are going to be mostly black and brown.